Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something really small, but kind of mighty, the Nissan Sakura.
Yeah, the electric Kai car from Japan,
Yeah,
introduced back in May 2022.
that's the one. And this feels important because it's not just, another tiny EV. It's Nissan tackling that super specific Kai category. Really feels like a peek into future city driving.
Absolutely. And with so many EVs hitting the market everywhere, the Sakura is interesting precisely because it's built around constraints. Tight rules, tiny size.
Right, not a big flashy SUV.
Exactly. Pure utility. Yeah. So our mission today really is twofold. First, let's get the real story from owners: practicality, comfort, costs. What's it actually like to live with?
Okay, the boots on the ground reality.
Precisely. And second, we need to balance that against this headline-grabbing solar version. Super innovative, sure, but also, as we'll see, super constrained.
Love it. The everyday reality versus the maybe someday future. Let's start with the basics, though, because the Kai category, it's more than just small car, right? It's like a whole system in Japan.
Oh, totally central. Strict size limits. The Sakura is barely 3.4 meters long.
Mm.
But the trade-off for owners, huge.
Hmm.
Tax breaks, cheaper insurance, even special parking spots.
And they still managed 4 seats and 5 doors in that tiny frame.
Yep. It's an amazing feat of packaging, honestly.
Okay, so driving it, key cars often feel, well, a bit sluggish. Does the electric motor change that? What's the power like, especially, pulling away from a light?
It's surprisingly quick for what it is. That's the EV difference.
Yeah.
Horsepower 64, which sounds maybe average, but you get 195 newton meters of torque instantly.
Ah, the instant torque.
Exactly. And the car only weighs, what, about 1070, 1080 kilos. So that torque makes a huge difference off the line.
So maybe not winning drag races, but that 0 to, say, 40 acceleration feels much more usable than an old gas Kai car. Gets rid of that sluggish feeling.
Definitely. It's perfect for city traffic.
Yeah.
Nip it around. Top speed is capped, 130 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
But it's the acceleration that counts in town.
And maneuverability. Must be great with that size.
Yeah, really tight turning. The wheelbase is only 2.5 meters. Parks anywhere.
What about the ride itself? You sometimes hear Japanese domestic market cars can be kind of stiff, especially on rougher roads outside Japan, like bottoming out easily.
Well, owner feedback suggests the Sakura is actually pretty good here. We've seen reviews saying it has decent ground clearance and, surprisingly, quite soft suspension.
Oh, really? Soft?
Yeah, one owner specifically mentioned it rarely scrapes on speed bumps, which they found unusual for a Japanese import on, let's say, less than perfect roads. So it seems to have a bit more cushion.
That's a nice surprise. Compact but comfy. Okay, let's move inside because when you hear mini EV, you might picture something really basic. Plastic everywhere. But the Sakura sounds kind of plush.
Yeah, the interior is remarkably refined for this class. Owners talk about really soft, comfortable seats, almost like little sofas, and surprisingly good legroom, too. It sort of tricks you into forgetting how small it is outside.
And the tech list. Wow. It reads like something from a bigger, more expensive car. Anti-collision assist? 4 airbags.
Yep, and a full 360-degree camera system. Touch climate control, Bluetooth, the works.
That 360 camera must be amazing for parking this thing.
Oh, absolutely. A total game changer in tight spots. And they didn't cheap out on driving features either. You've got drive modes, eco, standard, sport, plus brake hold, regenerative braking, all the EV essentials for city driving.
And naturally, being electric, it's silent, like really quiet, which is mostly lovely, right? Peaceful driving. But sometimes that silence has its own little quirks.
It definitely does. You lose that sort of engine noise feedback,
Exactly. The Nissan Sakura is so quiet you can actually hear yourself think. Which is a shame when I'm just desperately trying to remember where I parked it.
That's perfect. That little moment of panic when you're standing there in the quiet thinking, wait, where did I leave the metal box? Every EV owner knows that feeling.
It's so true. Okay, let's switch gears from the funny side to the financial side. We've got some real owner data on costs and, crucially, the range reality. What's the story there?
Okay, purchase price first. Bit of context needed here. The source mentioned a reconditioned import model cost the owner around 5.1 million rupees about a year ago.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like a lot.
It is, yeah. And we should probably clarify for listeners, that reflects a pretty hefty premium for importing it into markets like, say, India or Sri Lanka. Includes demand, exchange rates, all that. Not the base price in Japan.
Right, import costs. Got it. What about running costs? Let's talk range.
Okay, so Nissan's official claim, using the WLTC standard test, is 180 kilometers.
Which is always optimistic, right?
Generally, yeah. The owner review gave us the real number, 130 to 135 kilometers. and that's with the AC on.
Ah, okay. So a drop from 180 claimed down to maybe 130-ish in real life, especially if you're blasting the air conditioning.
Right.
Is that is that enough for city driving, or does that 25% drop feel like a big deal?
Well, 130 kilometers is probably fine for most daily city commutes. Most
Deal.
people aren't driving more than 50-kilometer round trip in a city. But yeah, that drop is the EV reality check everyone needs to be aware of.
Okay. How about charging costs? Is it cheap to top up?
Super cheap. A full charge uses about 16 or 17 units of electricity. Costs the owner around 1,500 rupees.
And charging time?
About 6 hours with a standard home charger, single phase. But here's the kicker. If you can get to an industrial charger, like a DC fast charger, it drops to nearly 40 minutes. That's huge.
Wow. Okay, 40 minutes makes it way more flexible. That's a big plus. Now, before we get to the solar roof thing, the owners mentioned something about maintenance, parts availability.
Yeah, this was really interesting and practical. Apparently, a lot of the body parts, panels, bumpers, that kind of thing, are interchangeable with his gas-powered sibling, the Nissan Days Highway Star.
Oh, clever.
Yeah. So if you ding a door mirror or something, you're not necessarily hunting for rare, expensive EV-specific parts, especially in import markets. It really lowers the risk of ownership.
That's a smart move by Nissan. Makes it way less scary to own long term. Okay, one quick safety note from the owner.
All right, just the usual EV caution. Avoid spraying water directly onto the battery area underneath, and definitely don't try driving through flooded streets. Standard procedure, really.
Good common sense. Okay, let's shift from the practical present to the ambitious future. This AO Solar Extender variant, unveiled at the 2025 Japan Mobility Show. What exactly is this thing on the roof?
It's basically a big, clever solar panel system. They call it the AO Solar Extender. It's built onto the Sakura platform. And these panels can actually, extend out. They generate up to 500 watts peak power.
500 watts from the roof. Okay, and it does two things, right? Charges the car and helps with cabin heat.
Exactly. The panels charge the battery while you're driving or parked, turning sunlight into kilometers. And kind of neat bonus, they also help shade the car, reducing how hot it gets inside when parked in the sun. Passive cooling.
Clever. And this leads to Nissan's big claim, the whole free motoring idea.
That's the headline, yeah. The promise is that this system could let the car drive, theoretically, 3,000 kilometers a year using only solar power. Meaning, for short trips, you might never need to plug it in. Sounds amazing, right?
3,000 kilometers a year just from the sun. That sounds like the dream, the end of range anxiety for city folks. Is this the tech breakthrough we've all been waiting for? Or is there a catch? There's always a catch with physics.
Yeah, there's definitely a catch. This is where we need the calculator and a dose of reality. So 3,000 kilometers a year.
Yeah.
Spread that over 365 days.
Okay. Doing the math.
It works out to only about 8 kilometers per day. That's, what, just under 5 miles?
Wait, only 8 kilometers a day, 5 miles. That's tiny.
That's the big constraint. So yes, it can potentially run without plugging in, but only for incredibly short daily drives. Think like driving from your house to the local train station or back, or just popping to the shops nearby.
So it's perfect for someone with, say, a 5-mile round-trip commute, maybe Culver City to Beverly Hills, like the source mentioned, but not much more than that if you want to stay purely solar.
Exactly. You're trading plug-in charging for solar self-sufficiency, but only within that very limited daily range.
It's interesting, though, because solar cars generally haven't really taken off yet, have they? Getting enough panel area is tough.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's the big challenge. The Sakura system is smart, shows what's possible now, but physics is physics. Although you do have things like the Aptera in the U.S., they claim huge pre-order numbers like 50,000.
Yeah.
So maybe the appetite for truly solar-powered driving is growing, even if mass production is still tricky.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. The Nissan Sakura, the standard one you can get now. It sounds like a really solid, feature-packed little urban EV, great tech, comfy, in a practical real-world range around 135 kilometers. A really good city option today.
Totally agree. A practical choice. And then you have the AO Solar version, which is, well, it's ambitious, a fascinating glimpse of the future, maybe, but super constrained, giving you maybe 8 kilometers of truly free solar driving a day. Energy independence, but only for those tiny urban hops.
So what's the big takeaway here for the future of getting around cities?
It really makes you think about city planning, doesn't it? Like, if our cities were actually designed so that most daily needs were within an 8-kilometer radius, would that 3,000-kilometer solar range suddenly become enough? Could it genuinely change urban mobility and make plugging in almost unnecessary for daily life?
That's a really interesting thought. Are cars limited, or is it the way our cities are built? Something to chew on.
Definitely food for thought.
Well, this has been a fantastic deep dive into the world of this tiny EV. Huge thanks to you, the listener, for joining us as we explored the sources on the Nissan Sakura.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for tuning in to the deep dive.